Hello. Thank you for your advices, Your Excellency. They were very interesting, and I'm sure we're all going to have to think about them tonight or tomorrow morning after we party. Jean Anheier, also thank you for your recommendations to go out there and not stay in. Dear Hertie community, parents and families who came from far and less far away, all the way to Berlin, welcome. Bienvenue, bienvenido, bienvenidos, herzlich willkommen. Professors and staff, fellow graduating students. I hope you have all recovered from last night's cabaret. And before I start, I would like to say a few words to the unofficial, but not less important members of our class. I would like to send our thoughts to our fellow students who are abroad on a professional year in China, Thailand, Guatemala, Ukraine, Malawi, and many other places. And also to the ones who made it to the exciting life of German ministries. They will be sitting here in a year from now, but we would like to declare them honorary graduates of the class of 2011. I would also like to send our thoughts to our family members, members of our graduating class, and friends who were not able to be here with us today. You are deeply missed. I am delighted to be here with you today, and also particularly relieved. Today we will finally receive an official piece of paper that says we earned a Master of Public Policy, an MPP. And no, it's not an MBA. In other words, what this means is that we now have a license to shape today, to understand today and shape tomorrow. Achieving this took us 2 laborious years, and for some of us even 3. The terms all-nighters, coffee, and more coffee became regular words in our vocabulary. We ventured in taking classes that some of us would have never taken by free will, though we knew we needed them in order to better tackle today's issues. Learning to do welfare analysis, to use grid group cultural theory, to ponder on the role of courts in decision-making, and to contemplate linear regressions. Many of us were not expecting the tough demands, the tough deadlines, and the tough nights studying. We had signed up for a stroll in the park, but found ourselves lining up for a marathon. And today we are crossing the finish line. We made it. Sometimes with sweat, tears, and a bit of frustration. But I think we're all thankful for it, sort of. We now have the tools to tackle issues in a trisectoral and interdisciplinary way. That means we can do everything and anything. Our class wrote master theses on topics as varied as the role of think tanks, decentralized education planning in India, and internet startups. There you go, typical Hertie trisectoral approach. The terrible, feared, and revered master thesis. Shortly before the thesis deadline, I received an email from my supervisor that read as follows: I hope you are hardly working on your thesis. Hardly working? I was hardly sleeping. And he meant that he hoped we were working hard. And we were. Hertie students, or Hertians as we refer to ourselves, are really hard workers. Yesterday at the cabaret we made fun of ourselves, but really Hertie students do not only study for their classes. They work part-time, sometimes full-time, they volunteer, they found organization, they travel to London for the Model United Nation, to Budapest or Istanbul for the EPCC conference, EPPC. Corina even traveled to the Arctic Circle for research, and no, not on polar bears, but on the less cute topic of climate governance. Hertie students also even find the time to discover Europe during weekends and make extensive social programs to discover the Berlin art scene, and especially the Berlin party scene. For all of these things, I think we should applaud our class. And also particularly give thanks to Sandro and Petter, our two student representatives, who have done a terrific job at communicating between the university and the students and spend their free time and late nights trying to make things better for us. We were all very involved with Hertie during our stay. We all tried to make it a better place. And I think we did. Some of us worked on developing a strategy for the school. Some of us were involved in creating the Hertie Student Association. Some of us were involved in keeping the school publication alive. And some of us were involved in making life a little more agreeable by organizing cultural events. Some of us were also keeping us inspired by welcoming ambassadors and distinguished professionals. We did work hard. I remember spending late nights at Hertie with Diana, trying to figure out which pizza we should order. Or at Patricia's, spending most of the night cooking delicious things, hoping they would miraculously write our papers for us. They didn't. The first day at Hertie, I was terrified, until I was greeted by Christian's warm handshake. You should definitely have dinner with him. And the first day at Hertie, I remarked that, although I was not entirely sure what the school had to offer us, I was impressed and inspired by the quality of my fellow students. I learned a lot from our curriculum, and I certainly learned even more from my classmates. So although we had to work hard, I think that our interactions made it possible to make it through those years not only richer personally, intellectually, but richer personally. Imagine spending 2 years in a beautiful building in the middle of Berlin with colleagues coming from all continents, having studied things that vary from music, literature, economics, political science, law, sociology, liberal arts, natural science, and even engineering. Not too bad, isn't it? And although we all came from different backgrounds, politically, academically, culturally, we made each other grow. Now, beyond our differences, we all have Hertie and Berlin in common. And I hope that this piece of paper that we will now receive will remind us of what we shared, of our Hertian identity, and help us work together in the future when we're all in different places, trying to make the world a better place in our own way. Thank you.